I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC.
Alright guys, here we are at the field with the MJX RC Bugs 2. This is the version that has GPS on board and a 1080p camera, and it has about a 20-minute flight time, so that's not bad, but it does have some different features that the Hubsan doesn't have, which I kind of like. It has these little thumb screws for the prop nuts. Those are nice because you can take those on and off without having to have any kind of tool to do that. But look at how similar these two frames are. This is the Hubsan H501A next to the Bugs 2. Strikingly similar, but a few different features. This one does have vents right here on the arms for venting the inside of the electronics and the ESCs. This one doesn't have vents on the arms here, but it does have plenty of vents on the bottom here. And we don't have any vents on the arms out on the bottom of the quad either. So all the vents for the Bugs 2 are underneath, but not bad. You put your micro SD card in there and you can record videos straight to the micro SD card. When you get home, you can unload those onto your computer. It also has Wi-Fi on board, so like this one, it has Wi-Fi and real-time video transmission, but this one comes with a controller, and the other one doesn't actually have a controller. It's just smartphone controlled. And I just did a review on this one a little while ago, and it's on the channel. It's a pretty nice flying drone. I like Hubsan stuff, but I'm interested to see what MJX RC has to offer, because these guys are kind of an up-and-coming company, especially with this Bugs series. People like these quads a lot. They fly really smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the battery, and I downloaded the app on my Apple iPad here, and it's going to send out a Wi-Fi signal to the iPad. I'm just going to go into the system here and go to Wi-Fi. You're going to look for Bugs in the Wi-Fi selection for that network. You don't have to use any password. You just click on Bugs there. We're going to check out the transmitter, and we're going to look on the bottom of the quad here. Looks like it's ready for compass calibration. Now this one requires that you calibrate the compass every single time you fly it, and it won't start loading up the GPS until you've done that. What that does is gives you a better return to home option so that it will actually land where you took off from. So now I'm going to go ahead, now that I'm hooked up to the Wi-Fi, the Bugs 2 Wi-Fi, I'm going to go over to the Bugs Go app, and that's the app that you want to download for Android or iOS. And I can see my real-time view here. You probably can't on the GoPro, but you can see the transmitter here. And once I've calibrated the compass, it's going to show me how many satellites I have here, and it's also going to show me connectivity to the quad. So as I fly further away, these might go down. So you'll know this is called an RSSI signal, and that's going to let you know how much connection you have to the quad. So it also has a height, altitude on the left here, and it also has distance from home on the bottom right here. So also information for headless mode, and that's a switch right here. You can turn GPS on and off, which I think that's pretty cool that you can turn GPS on and off. You have auto takeoff, and this little red button right here is what you use to unlock it. This is the return to home button. If stuff starts to go south, you can click on that button and it'll start to return to home. But it also has 3 different versions of return to home on here. It has smart return to home, which if you press this button, you can maneuver it with the sticks as it's coming back. That's pretty cool that you can do that. It also has a fail-safe return to home, so if it loses connection from the transmitter, it'll stop what it's doing and come back to home and land. Also a low voltage battery protection return to home. So if you're out there and your battery gets critically low, it'll actually stop what it's doing, come back and land within a 10 feet parameter of your home point. Now I'm using this little PGY Tech Takeoff pad. I'll try to put a link down below for you guys, but let's go ahead and calibrate the compass now. You're going to do 3 rotations, 1, 2, 3 here, and you wait till you see a solid light. It'll turn green, and that's when you go to the next one. The green is blinking. Face down, 3 rotations, and you should see those green lights stop and go green. Solid green in the front and in the rear, and red in the front. So now we're ready to calibrate the onboard gyro. I'm going to go ahead and move the Hubsan 501A out of the way, and we can go ahead and take off after we calibrate the gyro on board. Now we have 16 satellites on here, and we're ready for takeoff. Got my SD card in there. Gonna get my buddy Eli here to help me out. Watch out for that quad there. Just let's take a step back actually. So to arm it, you're going to go ahead and hold down this red button right here. Okay. So auto takeoff. So now we're in GPS hold, and we're going to come down. We're going to check out how well it does a GPS hold. If you see that your quad starts to toilet bowl or wander around a little bit, you need to bring it down and land it. We're going to bring it down a little bit again. Seems to be hovering quite nice. It's actually flying a lot like the Hubsan H501S. Just going to go into practice some forward flight here right in front of you guys. Brushless motors make all the difference. Still a little punch out. Okay, and let's go ahead and bring it back down right in front of us here. And Eli, if you'd like to press video record there on the screen. Look for the video icon and click that for me. Okay. You can also do that on the transmitter. So you should see time code on the screen right there. Yep. You see time code? Yep. Okay, perfect. So now we can use our FPV and we can cruise around. And we'll do some comparison of the Hubsan video. I'm not in the same location. So how is that lag on the video feed? Do you see any frame rate lag?
Not really.
Not a whole lot of lag. And you know, Wi-Fi quads are sometimes notorious that they have some Wi-Fi lag, meaning dropping the frame rate. There's some high voltage power lines over there, so I'm going to kind of stay clear of those. If you're ever flying a GPS quad, you want to make sure you stay well away from those bad boys. Just cruising around this field real quick. And we also have something on here called Headless Mode. If you guys are brand new to this, Headless Mode actually allows you to fly and not worry about your copter orientation. Not have to worry about left, right, forward, back, because whenever you press the right stick, left, forward, and back, it's going to keep traveling and coming back toward you. So if I pull back on the stick, no matter which way the quad's facing, it's going to come back to the home point. And that's kind of the old school return to home way, or you have that one button return there. Okay, so now we're going to try out headless mode. We're recording here again, and I'll just go ahead and switch into headless mode, and you'll watch right in front of me as I'm pushing away on the stick. No matter which way I have the copter facing, it still follows that trajectory, which is kind of cool. So I'm pulling back on the stick, rotating the quad, and it's still coming back. Even though I have it facing a different direction, if I pull on the right stick, it comes back toward the home plate. That's really great for beginners, because if you lose your orientation and you flip into this headless mode, it should come back. Now when you flip into headless mode, a lot of times they say to have the back of the quad facing you, but so it's just not sure if that's going to work if you're way out there, but we can experiment with that and try it out and see if it works. We're just going to cruise around. I'm going to flip out of headless mode now, and I'm going to go out there a little ways. I'm going to spin it around. So I'm flying line of sight right now. I'm not actually looking at the monitor. Now I'm in headless mode. I'm going to spin it around a little bit more to pretend that I'm confused and can't figure out which way the quad's facing. So this would be a really good technique to bringing your quad back in safely. So yes, it does work. Headless mode works in that mode. That's really cool. That was also on the DJI Phantoms. They had something very similar to that. I can't remember what the mode is called. I believe it was called IOC, Intelligent Orientation Control. All right, so we're going to do another takeoff. I went ahead and I hit this unlock button, and the motors are running right now, as you can see. And when I'm ready to take off, I'm going to hit this auto takeoff button. That was kind of nice. And like I said, if you see it start to fly around in circles and it's not holding a nice hover like it's doing right now, it's just wandering a little tiny bit. That's called a toilet bowl. And you can recalibrate the compass, but right now we have 16 satellites on this quad, so that's actually pretty good. We should be recording video again, so I'm just going to go ahead and cruise around a little bit out here. You guys can check out some of that onboard video. I'll bring it up full screen for you. Let's see if I can watch my real-time view here. Looks pretty nice out there today. Perfect day to fly. There is absolutely no wind. I'm going to go a little higher up there. It actually moves pretty fast. It's actually a pretty fast quad. And the range seems to be about, I believe it was 0.6 kilometers. So just coming in a little closer here. As you're descending with these quads, you're gonna get a little bit of prop wash. So if you're trying to film, it's better not to descend while you're filming because you'll get a lot of prop wash. If you fly straight, just using your yaw axis, you're actually gonna get a little smoother video. And now I'm going to test out the return to home. Just going to stop right where I am, let it hold that GPS position, and I'm going to hit the H button here, return to home, and see if it comes back on its own. It beeped once. I might need to press it and hold it down longer. Okay, now it's activated. It should be activated. Now this one, unlike DJI Spark and Mavic and the Phantom series quads, this one doesn't have a height to allow you to set the height. But you can do smart return to home, which allows you to navigate around things. If you can see it line of sight, you're able to move this quad, like I'm able to move the yaw axis right there. So what this did is, it looks like it came back to the home point and hovered right above the home point. Oh, it is descending, coming down. There's quite a few obstacles right here, so I'll stop it if it does hit anything. But we'll see how close it lands to that blue takeoff pad. It's actually pretty darn close. Coming in. And I'm not doing anything with the transmitter. It turned itself off. So that's not bad. That's about like 3 or 4 feet from the actual takeoff pad. Not bad at all. Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Nice job. So now we can go ahead and take off again. We have about a 20-minute flight time on this quad, so we should have a little bit of battery left. Okay, so I still have my Wi-Fi view here, and I could go ahead and do another GPS flight for you guys, but you know what? Let's do the non-GPS flight on here. And all I have to do that is take the switch right here where you have a little satellite icon and switch it over to A, and that turns off the GPS on board the drone. So that's kind of nice. We can go ahead and fly in manual mode now. So if you wanted to practice just to learn how to fly a quad and learn your orientations, forward, backwards, left, right, and also flying nose in, there's actually a lesson on my channel where I show people how to fly manually. If you learn how to fly a quad manually and bring it back and land it by yourself, that's a much more reliable way to learn how to fly quadcopters. So I'm going to fly at line of sight right now, but I will go ahead and start the video on the quad so you guys can see the onboard video. Press the unlock button here. So it seems that it wants me to calibrate the compass when I'm taking off in manual mode, which is kind of strange. But now we'll go ahead and try to unlock the motors. We should be good to go there. Okay, now we're unlocked. I went ahead and did a manual takeoff instead of doing that automatic launch. And so now when the quad comes up, you can see the Bugs 2 is just drifting in the wind. The wind is going out this direction, so it's just going to drift downfield like that. I have my hand on the throttle stick. Now I can yaw back toward myself, and with the right stick I can push forward. It's going to come back toward me. Now I'm interested to see if this video looks better than when the GPS is on, because sometimes if you take GPS off, you get a little smoother pans because the GPS is constantly trying to stop the quad and put it in sort of what we call GPS hold. Now the transmitter is beeping to let me know that I'm at sort of a low voltage state. So I'm not in return to home right now, so I don't have any way to come back and land on low voltage. So I'm gonna have to come back and manually land. So keep that in mind if you're flying sort of manual mode. What a nice place to fly though. This is a friend of mine's private property. Nice private farm. So I'm gonna try to get some altitude there. Before this guy, it'll probably start to auto descend if you're at a critical battery state. The drone itself will actually start beeping. So you can see on the bottom of the quad, if you look on the bottom of the quad, you can see that the red lights in the back are blinking. And so now we have all 4 red lights here. Critical battery. So if you're way out there and this happens, it might actually start to auto descend on you, or if you get really critically low, it'll actually fall out of the air. So you don't want that to happen. So looking pretty good here. Just gonna come in and land on my little pad over here. Bring it down and land. Almost on it. Pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn the quad off itself. Give some sort of after flight comments here. I think the overall flight characteristic of this is pretty good. It is comparable to the Hubsan. Honestly, I'm going to give you an honest opinion of it. I don't think it's quite Hubsan quality yet. I think it's getting there. There are some things I like about it a lot that are very similar to Hubsan, like the fact that it does have these quick release nuts. It doesn't have vented arms though, which I would like to see maybe in a future version, and maybe a little upgrades on the transmitter. This transmitter is a little nicer than some of the other MJX RC transmitters because you have all those new on-screen LCD features that show you satellite telemetry and all that good stuff. But the brushless motors seem to work pretty well. But I think that the GPS needs to be a little more locked in. It looked like it was wandering a little bit even after compass calibration and gyro calibration. So I think this is a good quad. I think it flies really smooth and really true on forward stick, and on the yaw axis it seems to perform pretty well. And the return to home worked phenomenally. It came really close and back. I thought it was going to land over by the chairs, but it actually came right back, almost landed on the home plate. So I'm pretty impressed with that. They're on a good start for their first GPS quad. So I would probably give it 4 stars, 3.5 to 4 stars for this quad. So thanks again for watching this review, you guys. I'm Justin Davis. This is the Bugs 2 by MJX RC. I'll see you on the next one.